the use of these stings has only expanded over the... Among the legacies of the 9/11 attacks are counterterrorism stings, the FBI's tool of choice to identify and stop would-be terrorists. But instead of nabbing dangerous terrorists, these aggressive stings appear to entrap financially broke, mentally ill, or otherwise hapless individuals. Still, the use of these stings has only expanded over the last 2 decades.
More arrests of ISIS sympathizers here in the United States. The FBI nabbed at least 6 people in Minneapolis and San Diego.
The man accused of trying to bomb the Federal Reserve Building in New York also considered targeting President Obama.
These 2 Zion residents tonight claim that government agents made them do it. They say entrapping them in schemes dreamt up by the FBI.
So let's go back to how all this started. After al-Qaeda operatives hijacked commercial airplanes on September 11, 2001, the FBI was the frontline agency put in charge of stopping the next attack.
Global terrorism and the FBI's response to what happened on that day is something that I and almost everyone in the Bureau thinks about for a good part, a better part of every day.
The FBI first built an unprecedented spy network in Muslim communities nationwide, recruiting more than 15,000 informants. And to find would-be terrorists, the FBI deployed what was, not so long ago, a very controversial tactic: undercover stings. FBI stings weren't new in the post-9/11 era. Back in the 1980s, for example, the FBI targeted the brash auto executive John DeLorean in a sting. The FBI recorded DeLorean agreeing to bankroll a cocaine smuggling operation as a way to save his ailing car company. The jury in DeLorean's criminal case agreed with some of the early criticism of stings. He was acquitted at trial after arguing that he was illegally entrapped by federal agents. Stings nevertheless continued and became a key weapon for federal agents during the so-called war on drugs. They were so common that they've become part of our popular culture.
Miami Vice, you're under arrest. Turn around and put your hands on the bar.
So after 9/11, the FBI realized that if agents could use stings to find drug dealers, why couldn't they use them to find terrorists? The earliest of these counterterrorism stings involved informants, posing as some sort of terrorist operative, offering the means and opportunity for would-be terrorists to move forward with otherwise implausible plots. An example of this involves 7 poor black men in Miami. They became known as the Liberty City 7. An FBI informant told the men he was an al-Qaeda operative. But the evidence in the case strongly suggested that the Liberty City 7 weren't plotting a terrorist attack, but running a scam. The FBI informant offered them $25,000, and they appeared willing to say just about anything to get the money. During the sting, the Liberty City 7's leader spoke of bombing the FBI office in Miami and the Sears Tower in Chicago. It was all talk, because the group didn't have money or weapons. But the FBI built a case by asking the Liberty City 7 to give a pledge of allegiance to al-Qaeda, which resulted in this ridiculous bit of FBI theater.
You will repeat after me. God's pledge is upon me. And so is his compact.
The Liberty City 7 case was so problematic that it took prosecutors 3 trials to convict 5 of the 7 men on terrorism charges. That could have dissuaded the FBI and the Justice Department from these kinds of cases, but it didn't. Instead of abandoning terrorism stings as a tactic, the FBI refined the tactic, introducing more and more actual weapons into the supposed plots. Everything from guns to car bombs to surface-to-air missiles. The FBI has run counterterrorism stings nationwide. My colleague Margot Williams and I have been tracking these stings for years. As of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, about 350 defendants have been prosecuted